Verse 16. When thou hast this matter in good working order, thou shalt speak before thy holy council. In my name shalt thou say to them after this manner, 200,000 hath Jehovah called. By him am I commanded to find them, and they shall be wise and strong and without fear, for they shall be angel preachers in Jehovah's name to go down to Horeb, the place of DYUS, the Lord God the false, and to the kingdoms of his God, and their labor shall be to preach and proclaim the Father and his glories in the Etherian worlds. So here, Jehovah is instructing God to gather up an army to go into DYUS's kingdom and proclaim Jehovah's kingdom and the many heavens within Etheria. Verse 17. And my preacher shall not say one word against the Lord God nor his gods, but rather the other way. By majesty of Jehovah's love, be loving towards them and their officers and subjects. For by this means shall my preachers have peaceful dwellings in these warring kingdoms, and thus their voices shall have great weight. For the greatest wisdom of a great diplomatist is not to be too opposite, but conciliating. Verse 18. Jehovah said, and thy preacher shall travel constantly in the lowest kingdom, teaching and explaining my boundless worlds, sowing the seed of aspiration with the wise and with the ignorant, especially with the enslaved. Verse 19. And to as many as become converted and desire to ascend to Cryoshava, thou shalt say, go ye to the border of your kingdom, where the Father's laborers have a ship to take ye to his kingdom. But thy preachers shall not go with them to excite suspicion or hate, but continue on preaching and inciting the slave to ascend to higher and holier heavens. Verse 20. Then God of Cryoshava fell to work to carry out the commandments of Jehovah, and his council labored with him. At Siwan was established, and Yot-Sihaga was made the sub-god, with a holy council of 100,000 angels, with 1,000 attendants, and with 50,000 messengers. He was provided with a capital and a throne, and with the ship makers and builders of mansions and 1,000,000 angels. Verse 21. After that, God and the council of Cryoshava organized all the armies as commanded by Jehovah, and there were in these armies all told 1,700 millions and 208,560, all of whom were above grade 50, and some as high as 90. Verse 22. And it so turned out that these organizations were completed and in working order 2 days prior to DYUS and his hosts beginning their war on the earth. But the faithless angels were distributed mostly in Haiti and the regions above. So while DYUS hosts of 2,000 million were going down to the earth, there were of faithless angels for the same place but 400,000, except the guardian angels, the Eshars, who were in regular service. So here is showing that while DYUS and his armies are going down to the earth to do battle, Jehovah instructs God to gather up an army, to collect the spirits, and to guard the human beings who will remain in the ways of the Creator. True God, Son of Jehovah, will send guardian angels to protect them during these battles of 1,000 years. But many of them will be slain because the ways of the Most High is non-resistance. And being that they're non-resistance, their only defense is either to flee and hide. So with that being said, many of them were slain off or converted to the ways of these false gods. And with that, I'd like to say peace and blessings and catch you on the next documentary called The Battle of 1,000 Years for Arabenia by Osiris. Shalom.